It's time. Let's get this puppy fixed up. If you guys have been following along, I've been working a lot on that old guy thing, that headache, crusty over there. And so this one, the yeller dog, I think that's what it's getting called these days, has been put on the back burner, and I have not been doing my due diligence to keep it maintained. We're fixing all of that today. I need to go ahead and get the shocks replaced. If you guys watch right here, if you look at this, you'll notice that the back of the Jeep's really bouncing up. It's bucking a lot. It's not actually getting dampened. And so with that, the shocks are not doing what they needed to. A lot of it had to do with some of the weight I had back here. The dampening of the shocks wasn't aggressive enough, but also I went ahead and did some changes, and now it really just still doesn't work. And the reason for that, these shocks are blown. They're awful, they're no good, so we're gonna replace the shock. The other thing is I've always used a line lock in the front as a parking brake of sorts. That has blown. I don't really wanna mess with replacing it, and I want a true mechanical parking brake. So for that, we're gonna go ahead and install a universal parking brake in this Jeep. Without further ado, let's get to it. Look at this beauty. We'll start with the shocks. Looking here, we're gonna have to remove the sway bar I put in, trying to help dampen some of that, when really I think it was just the shocks the whole time. But pull this out so we can drop this down, get that out of the way, because then I can get to the bolt for the shocks, and we'll get the shocks replaced. That should be a pretty straightforward process, and then we'll jump into what I need to do for the parking brake. There you go. Ugh. Let's see how bad they are. And they've got a little bit of compression to them, but not much. I feel like I shouldn't be able to push it that easy. So anyway, they're probably bad. We'll get them replaced. Gross. And you guys will be glad to know I spared no expense. Went with the rough country shocks, $100 for two. You know, don't judge though. Okay guys, I get it, they're not the greatest, but this isn't the end of this Jeep either. And I have everything. Actually, here, come look, I'll show you real quick. Ugh. So I'm pretty hyped. I just picked these up for a pretty good deal, I think, but some aluminum lower links, brand new bushings. I've got all the other link things and everything I need to 4-link the back of this Jeep. So that's my long-term goal. And when I do that, I'm gonna get way nicer shocks, but I just wanted something that I can get back on the trail and really enjoy this Jeep again. So I just went with cheap shocks. Don't judge me. It's gonna get the full treatment once I get crusty done. All right, back to your regular programming. Top, so this is probably the top, right? I would assume. But you know what they say when you assume? Make an ass out of you and me. Okay, I think it's actually, you know what? Sometimes when that doesn't work, just add a little lube. Slip right on. Probably some adult level humor there to be had, but I'm trying to keep this a kid-friendly show. Tasty, tasty. Nice. These shocks are not happy. I can't remember how I got these on here first time. Note to self when I design shock tabs on the other one, don't do it this way. Just so graceful working on this thing, you know? All right, I need 2 hands. Caleb, come on, man. Let's get this done. Right there. Got it. Okay, well, cameraman Caleb Had a little oops. We kind of smacked him in the leaf spring here, but we got the bolt in. This puppy is good to go. One shock down, one to go, and a parking cable to do. So while I've got this tire off, we'll go ahead and get started on doing the parking brake on this side of the Jeep. For the viewers at home, when I picked this up, my rear parking brake was never working. I actually have already routed all of the parking brake cables, and then after further inspection, I was like, why is it not working? These things should self-adjust, blah, blah, blah. Well, basically, there's supposed to be a piece that runs from right here, a cable. That cable should run from this side, run underneath, hook into here, and then this lever runs out the back and actually attaches to these cables here. So if we see those cables, and then that runs up and then all the way up to the cab, and I'll show you that configuration. But this piece is what's missing to actually pull these drums out, or these shoes out to the drum. And so since this cable's missing, I looked for them online, can't really find them. So my alternative is to fabricate one. Let's show you how that looks. This is what I came up with, just some cable I had laying around with some ferrules that are crimped on. So this piece will actually click or hook just like that, so you can see, so it hooks up like that. Then there's a piece that'll grab the cable under here, just like so, and then this wraps around and would fit just right there. So this one's actually a little bit too big, so I need to go ahead and make some adjustments. So let's get that done, and then we should be ready to go. So all I'll do, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this cable up, get me a nice fresh end, just like so. I'll take this piece, slide it on. I'll give a little bit of extra there. Oh, let me grab the crimper. Just a little guy. Just a little thing. And then, I don't know what size these are supposed to be. I think it's gonna fit right there. There it goes. Okay, that's good and crimped on there. So then that will sit. Like I said, this will clip right in there, hook right there. I'll be able to run that under and then make my loop on the other side. And this will loop back through just like so. So you can see that's how that's gonna look. And then I need that to be not that short, which actually, here, let's do it. Actually, hold on. So that needs to be shorter, just a hair, because that'll go back just a little bit right there. Because too, I think I can get a little bit of tension on that one. Oh, actually, hold on. All right, so there you go. So that's my new length. So then let's compare. Yeah, so that'll be just a hair shorter. So that should work just or about right. All right, we're gonna run with it. Let's see what happens. So then that should be good and crimped. Yep, I'm gonna cut this shorter. Yep, now this will just slide right in there under this little piece here, and boom, there you go. So you can see that should solve all of that problem. So when I actually pull the parking brake cable, it's gonna pull that tight and work the way it's supposed to. It'll be nice to have an actual parking brake. I'll feel so much safer. Now that you guys have seen what the inside of the parking brake looks like for the outside, this is how I've routed it. So now under here, you can see I took the universal parking brake cables. One's routed here. I welded a tab to the axle, bolted this in, and then attached that to that arm that connects to the inside that I showed you earlier. Then I did the same thing, routed it over here, welded a tab, boom, to this side, so you can see these are good and tight. That's that setup. I'll show you what it looks like attached at the frame and inside the Jeep, and then there you go. So for underneath, this is what the universal parking cable looks like. You basically have these pieces that you cut to length. This mount here actually attached to the frame, and I welded a tab out so it bolted in. And then this runs up, and this was the stock actual parking brake cable from the Jeepster originally. And then I welded a little tab to my skid plate and then routed that all the way up and inside the cab. So really, this just kind of bolts in tight. It all works nice and neat. It's pretty simple and straightforward to install. And then those run to the back like I was just showing you. So there you go. And then finally, let's show you what the lever looks like inside the Jeep. This shows you, this is just the stock parking brake setup, the lever there underneath.
A few moments later.
So here's the problem is, I installed all of the lever mechanism, stretched it all out, the cable stretched out further, and so now you can see here, like I don't know if you can see that, right here, the cable's like way too loose to actually engage the parking brake. So I either need to cut and shorten to move all this back or figure something out. Maybe I can cut and shorten this cable here just a hair as well. I've got to figure that out. All right, I'll figure that out. We'll be right back. Nope. There we go. Let's go see if this will shorten us up where we need to be. This little piece was basically too long. I couldn't adjust this anymore. So what I'm hoping is I took a couple inches off of it. So this will hopefully slide back enough that maybe the parking brake handle cable will engage the way I need it to. We'll find out. I'm just really wanting to reduce the amount of work I have to do. Let's see if it did it. Oh. Dude, I have no idea what to do now. Because it's like engaging, but it's just taking so much force to pull that. I just don't think. Ugh. I think there's something else up with this handle. Dude, it's just not working. Okay. Well, I guess it's time to film an outro. Hopefully this wasn't a total waste of your guys' time. I wasn't able to get this parking brake to work. If you guys notice what I've done wrong, I would love to hear in the comments how to fix this. I'm going to continue to dive into it and try to solve the issue with this parking brake setup because I really don't know what's happening to keep it from working. So if you guys have ideas, love to hear them in the comments below. You saw I now have new shocks, so hopefully this thing's going to ride a lot better on the trail. The maintenance on this is now up to snuff and it should be good to go and take out and have a good time. Till next time, guys. Thanks. All right, well, I lied. Outro 2, or I don't know. So I got under there, I pulled the actual braking arms, and then we were able to pull this a little bit further. So really it's just taking so much force to get this to pull to where the parking brake will actually engage that I don't know what the solution is there. So if you guys know of a solution, that would be great. But right now, look, we got it done. It's in neutral. I can get out of the Jeep. It's stopped. I mean, it moves a little, but it's stopped. It's engaged. The parking brake is working. But the problem that we're running into is that when I try to pull this cable with the lever on the inside, these arms here aren't engaging as far as they need to. Now, if I crawl under here, I pull this tight with my hand and then have somebody pull the lever on the inside tight, the parking brake actually works. It's engaged right now. So there's something wrong with the lever. If you guys have any ideas, let me know, because I'm this close to having a working parking brake, but something's just a little bit off. So